Good morning, everyone. This is very early in the morning on October 28th, 2017. I woke up this morning really inspired to share with you some of my insights concerning reality. We have in that reality framework alternate realities, alternate timelines. These two are very much sort of not exactly the same thing, but the relationship is so close it's kind of difficult to divide them. But what prompted this was I'm watching a series on Gaia called Deep Space, and it's very interesting. And much of it aligns with my Thothic insights, Akashic and Thoth streaming and all of that. Some of it really veers off of that. And I have looked at this before, but it's becoming clearer to me. I'm basing what I'm going to tell you on much of what my Thothic insights have brought me, but also my own sort of standing back and looking at it perspective. What it boils down to my understanding and perspective, is that we have two main streams of reality going on here. Now we can slice it and dice it in a lot of different ways in regard to terminology, but let's just simplify it and say we have two different pictures here. They're not entirely different, in fact. They have a basis that's the same. And that basis is that we have in the past been genetically manipulated by off-world beings and are continuing to be to some degree. But on one of those branches, streams of reality, we have a picture of total enslavement. We've been enslaved for, millennia, and we will continue to be enslaved. There's not much we can do about it. And all these offshoots are going on. The Lizzie beings and all these other scary extraterrestrial types are sort of in a stranglehold on us, and have they're actually vying for power over us, and there are wars going on the moon with the secret space program and these alien beings that we're fighting, and all of this kind of thing. On the other side, the other branch of this trunk of this tree, yes, we have had certain genetic manipulations and things have gone on in the past. There have been wars in the past. Off-planet, in-planet wars. Thoth refers to them as the Nephilim Wars, just as a general title. So there's a similarity there. However, on this other stream, there is this brilliant light. And the light is that we are divine beings, that even though we've been manipulated with physically to some extent, we have the light engendered races within us. The sun lords, the sun races, shall we say, the solar races, the star races, whatever you want to call them, different terminologies there. Thoth speaks of the shepherd race. And these beings came with us in the lotus reality, what Thoth refers to as the lotus reality. Other people are using different terms. It's not just me, but they're using different terms, but it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's this light engendered beingness that we are, and we have guardians of that beingness. However, we have allowed ourselves to be manipulated and worked with on some levels. And these ultra beings, these light engendered ones, these angelics, they can't just step in, or they won't just step in and say, oh, we'll take care of everything for you. It's okay if you messed up. We'll just fix it all. We'll just put a big Band-Aid over this boo-boo. That's not the way it works. And so, we have to be responsible for our actions. And we have brought on the situations, the circumstances that we find ourselves not entrapped in, but with certain snares that we have to work through. Now, that is the scenario that my Thothic perspective brings forth, and others do as well. Different words, terminologies, maybe some details are slightly different due to the way the translators like myself are translating it. You have several translators in the room. There's going to be a little bit of difference between the translators. But basically, it's the same picture. But on the other side, we have the doom and gloom. Yes, the manipulations and all this, but look where it's brought us. It's brought us to total servitude and slavery. And so there's no bright light at the end of the tunnel there. Not only at the end of the tunnel, surrounding us and perpetuating our true divinity. Or if there is one, they're not talking about it. Not only that, they're creating scenario. They're not creating, they are embracing scenarios of some alternate deep end reality of doom and gloom that shows us constantly, perpetually at war with alien beings, even on the moon, on Mars. This is a very dangerous path because it's so similar to the other path, and yet it has this dark capstone on it. So it's very easy just to veer off there because the scenery looks so similar, and then all of a sudden you're in this other realm, this very dark realm. And where did the light go? Where did the divinity go? So that's what I find so seducing about it. It isn't seducing to me and to many others, but there's a large majority of people now, a large majority, larger than I realized until I had a look at it up close and personal in a way I won't discuss on this. And I was startled. I was shocked. I knew it was there, but I didn't realize the depth of it. When I say the depth, I mean the many people that are being seduced by it. There are websites up there that are seducing, and stories that are being told that are seducing. And these aren't false stories, fake stories. See, if they were, they would be more easily dismantled. What they are alternate reality stories. So they have substance, and yet they don't exist to those of us who don't embrace them. This isn't denial that I'm speaking about. This is choice. And that's where we are right now in a big way on this planet. We have come to the point where we must make a choice as to the reality we embrace, and thus the reality we create. I chose this photograph of the moon for this talk because it is amazing and It is one of the ones that has been taken in true color, well, they were all taken originally in true color, and then of course NASA grayed them out and made them look more, dead. And obviously this is some giant domed structure. This dome over this whole area, whether it is an active site or an ancient one. I've addressed that, my perceptions from the Thothic stream about the moon and Mars and what's going on there. And so I'm not going to get into that now, but there's both ancient structures that are not in use, ruins. There are also current various different alien personages on the moon. Personages isn't really a good word, I guess, but beings, whatever. And there's also a presence of us there, the secret space program. Same thing with Mars. So there's a mixed bag, and the current what's being spoken about by certain people about it all are saying they've been there and part of the program, and all these awful beings and all these wars and things going on. I don't believe that they're not telling the truth. They're telling it as they have been programmed to perceive it. And some of that programming may be entirely false, but I believe probably most of it is that they have been programmed to view and experience on some level, if not physically, probably not physically, an alternate reality. Because you see, realities can be created and built, and then they run like a program. And you can live them. We're living one right now, but it's not artificially created. It will. I said I wouldn't get into it, and here I go. So I'm not going to get into that with this particular little short video here. I just wanted to bring up what I just said and leave it at that for now, because I woke up with it on my mind really, really strong, and I didn't want it to escape me in the busyness of the day. I just wanted to speak it now. These are not new thoughts to me or new insights from the Thothic record. I've known about this, but I just wanted to put it together in a certain way, because I find that this is especially troubling to me, that so easily people are being herded into these popular alternate reality formats, or this popular alternate reality format of sort of doom and gloom. And yes, there's a lot of stuff going on, even in the more upbeat reality stream. But the difference is that we are divine beings, and we are being helped into this ascension code, and leaving all this other stuff behind. And we don't want to get trapped into some really deeply dark reality streams that are really not a part of the original streaming that we're working with. They have similar factors, but they are not the same. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I apologize for my croaky voice, but it's really early in the morning. So thank you for listening.